Recently on Woodworking with Wes, we built this mantle as an explanation of how you can turn woodworking into a side hustle that makes you money. We received a lot of comments, and I love your comments. One of the comments that we received a lot of was, how do I install this mantle? Well, there's some basics, and we're going to go over the basics and show you how an installation of a mantle really isn't that hard. Let's get started. The first thing you're going to do on a mantle build is go to the job site and take a look and take some measurements. Take a long straight edge with you. I bought this tall level so that I could go out to the job site and I could check the level of the wall and the straightness of the wall. You'll want to check the level of your wall up and down for your columns, but you're also going to want to put a straight edge across the back of the wall, the level of the top of your mantle, to see whether your wall is even. That's very important when it comes to getting ready to do your installation, is what kind of surface are you installing to? Also, there's measurements or things you're going to have to take into account about clearances. Get your specifications from the fireplace that you're putting the mantle around about what kind of clearances you're going to need from the side and from the top, and how much overhang and how much the height of the overhang from the fireplace. All of these specifications are required to make sure that you don't build a mantle that is unsafe or going to get too hot or anything like that. Those specifications will be in the instructions of the mantle or of the fireplace itself. Be sure to read those and find out what you're working with so that you can build a mantle that is safe also. Let's talk about the top first. I've turned the back side of the mantle to you so that you can see the structure of the mantle itself that is going to come into play during the installation. I'm going to lean it forward a little bit like this so you can see the top of the mantle. This top might have to be scribed to an uneven wall. How much scribing you're going to have to do is going to help you determine how much recess you're going to need along the back side of your structure here, because if you have a very uneven wall, this might be too close. I only have just 3/4 of an inch here. You might need an inch or more. If it's too much, there are other ways to deal with it by using molding, but typically you're going to scribe to match the length of your mantle top against the wall. That's where your straight edge comes into play. And so when you're taking your measurements, check your straightness of your wall. I have again the back side of the mantle facing to you, and I've put it up on my workbench so that we can talk about the base of the mantle here. One of the things you need to do is put some anchoring blocks attached to the wall. Let's talk about that a little bit. First thing you're going to need to do is determine if you have any structure inside your wall that you can attach a block to. I usually used 2x4s. I put the 2x4 here, I would mark it. I would screw the 2x4 into the studs that were behind the sheetrock. If there weren't any studs, I would use a molly bolt and construction adhesive to make sure that that was solid. The worst thing you can do is screw your mantle to the wall and have the block pull away and you don't have a solid mount. So make sure that the space you have here, line that up with where you're going to put your mounting block, and then make sure your mounting block is securely attached to the wall. There's 3 places you want to be attached firmly to your wall. You want to be attached down at the bottom, and you want to be attached across the top. So another mounting block up here and another mounting block down here. Make sure that you're attached solid top and bottom. All right, let's turn the mantle around, and I'll show you a secret that makes your installation, once you get your blocks attached, much easier. This little foot mold here that I put on when I built the mantle, when I would do the installation of the mantle, I would leave this off. And as I put my mounting block to the back side, like I just demonstrated, I would screw through the face of this piece right here into my mounting block and pull that up tight. And then I would install the base mold piece, and that hid my screws and my mounting, whatever I had to do to mount would all be covered by this foot mold, which was already made and finished, and all I had to do was put this on and a couple of small tacks from each side, and it was put on permanently. Up top, where I talked about a mounting block, I would put a screw or a nail, whatever I needed to do in order to mount up top, through the top of the mantle itself, because it was less noticeable than trying to mount it through anything on the face. That way, a good solid mounting block up top, a good solid mounting block down low, a screw or a nail up through the top, and the nails and screws, whatever I needed to use underneath this foot mold, and I was solidly attached top and bottom so that it was good and solid against the wall, because that's the last thing you want to do, is you don't want to have your mantle not be attached solid to the wall. So now you know how to mount it to the wall, but I want to talk to you a little bit more. This is a very typical, easy mantle to do because it's just very straight and easy, but it would go on a flat wall. You're not going to run into that all the time. There are going to be situations where different kinds of mounting applications are involved, different kinds of mantle construction is going to be involved. I've made a place for you to ask those questions. Go to woodworkingwithwes.com. You'll find a way there to get to our subscription platform where I can make a personalized video to help you build the mantle and install the mantle that isn't just the typical thing. This is a way for me to help you personally with individual instructions. Woodworkingwithwes.com. It's a great way to let me mentor you in your woodworking and help you become better skilled in the work that you do. And we'll see you there on Woodworking with Wes.